Quick side note before I get into some hands, if you guys are looking for something to buy for your mom, sister, or wife for the holidays, my family and I started a candle company over quarantine, and they're honestly some of the best smelling candles around. They're made with all natural organic scents and pure coconut oil. If you're a subscriber of this YouTube channel and you want to support, I'll hook you guys up with a 10% off discount. Just make sure to use code POKER. It's all lowercase at checkout, and every order over $50 is going to ship free, so that's nice as well if you want to get a couple. Link to the website is below. Happy holidays, everyone. Now let's get into some poker hands. We buy into the 5-5 game for $700 and have our lucky Rampage poker chip, so we're feeling good. First hand of the night, we look down at our favorite hand, pocket sevens. 7 of diamonds, 7 of spades. We're into the under the gun +1 position. The under the gun limps. I raise it up to $25, trying to fold out the weaker hands and build a pot, just in case we hit a set. The hijack, the big blind, and the under the gun position player all call. With 105 in the pot, we're 4 ways on the flop, which comes 7 of clubs, 4 of spades, jack of diamonds. We flop middle set. Checks to me. I bet $50 here into 105, so around half pot. The board isn't too connected, so we want people still to call with pretty much any pair, which is what the under the gun position player does. He's the only caller. The turn with 205 now in the pot comes a 7 of hearts. We hit quads, baby. He checks to me and he has us covered. I want to bet enough here so I can set up a river jam. I want to get max value here. So I end up betting 135 into 205. This will set up a nice, perfect river jam. He ultimately does not have a jack or anything good enough to call and folds, but we scoop the 205 pot with quads, which is a great way to start the night. Fun story, the reason why I said pocket sevens is my favorite hand is because when I won my first big pot with them, I was playing poker up at Chumash up in Santa Barbara. I was playing a game way over my head, like way too big and too much for my skill level or bankroll, but I ended up flopping a set with pocket sevens and it got better on the turn and I hit quads. I ended up doubling up my stack against a frustrated regular, and I made a pretty rookie move. I left right after the hand. I think that might have tilted him a little bit too, but yeah, that's why I like pocket 7. Next hand of the night, we look down on the button with 10-9 of diamonds. Under the gun +1 raises it up to 20. Folds to me and I call in position here. I think it's fine. Flop heads up comes king 9-8, all hearts. We hit middle pair and have some draws, but the board is very connected. He checks, which shows weakness. I bet 20 and he folds pretty quickly, so we scoop that down when he showed weakness. This next hand is pretty interesting, so follow along. We have $700 in our stack. We look down at 9-10 of hearts from the big blind. There's one limp out there. The low jack raises to 25. Folds to me. I put in the call here with 9-10 of hearts from the big blind. Heads up to the flop with 60 in the pot comes queen of hearts, 9 of clubs, 8 of diamonds. We hit middle pair with some backdoor draws. And we put in the check. He bets 20, which I think is kind of small, and I think a call is fine here just to see if we can hit on the turn, but with a hand that's probably behind against a queen or a better hand, I decided to raise it up to 65 here. This board hits our range a lot harder here from the big blind, and we want to tell the story in case we miss on the turn of the river and have the opportunity to barrel with our story making sense. He ends up putting in the call to our raise, so we're off to the turn. 190 in the pot, the turn comes a 7 of spades. We pick up more outs to our straight, but ultimately don't improve our hand too much. I'm not a quitter here, so I bet 125 into 190, and he pretty quickly calls here, which is not ideal at all. The river with now 440 in it comes a 4 of hearts. We brick everything and are left with one pair, which for sure isn't good. We have a decision to either check and give up or put him to the test with another bet. Nothing's changed though. My mama didn't raise a quitter, so I jam my 500 remaining chips into the middle. He looks really frustrated. He goes back and forth between looking like he's gonna call or fold. Ultimately, he can't find the call, puts his cards into the muck, and we get that bluff through. You. With 935 now in our stack, we look down at pocket sixes from the big blind. The cutoff limps, the button raises up to 20, and I call looking to set mine here again. Cutoff folds. flop heads up out of position with $50 and it comes 8-7-6 with 2 clubs, very connected. We flop bottom set here on this very connected board, and I check here planning to check raise. He bets 20, we follow through with the plan and raise it up to 55, and he does something very strange which I definitely did not expect in the moment, and he 3-bets to 155. I find this really strange because although he will have the occasional pocket 8s or pocket 7s having us crushed, I think his range should consist more of overcards and overpairs, to which he would never be 3-betting with, and we have crushed, but regardless, I can't fold here just yet to 1 3-bet, so I call. The turn with 360 in the pot comes a 4 of hearts. I check. He bets 300 now, almost a pot-sized bet, and he's definitely telling the story of a better set. And given that he's an OMC type player, I just can't get myself to believe he has anything other than a set, so I have no choice but to fold. I don't believe he'll ever play an overpair like this, so best case scenario, I'm up against a draw, which I just never see him having or playing like this. I only show him my hand just to see what he'll say. He said in a very honest way, like he had much better, which I definitely believe him. Can you guys help me out here and leave a comment down below? Did I make a good fold here? Was I outmatched in this hand? Did he probably have a set pocket 8s, pocket 7s? Or did I make a really bad fold and I was leaving value on the table with my bottom set? We're back down to around 730 in our stack. We're on the button with king jack of spades. There's 3 limps to me and I want to isolate here, so I raise it up to 25, trying to get heads up, but that's definitely not what happened. We ended up getting 3 calls. The flop with around 105 in it comes 8 of hearts, 4 of spades, 5 of hearts. Early position now leads 45 into this pot, and I don't really have any option here. I guess I could call, trying to hit a jack, a king, or another spade for a rivered flush, but I just fold here. Pretty simple. We then get some good news and pick up pocket aces in late position and raise it up to $20. That good news though is followed by some quick bad news because everybody folds. We then look down at ace-3 of spades from middle position. I raise it up to 20. Button now 3-bets me to 80, and although this is a terrible spot because I'm going to go out of position and have to call another 60 just to see a flop, I was in a good mood and wanted to see if we could get into a cooler situation, so I put in the extra 60. With 170 now in the pot, the flop comes queen, jack, 4 with 1 spade. Although we do have some backdoor draws, it's just nothing really we wanted to see. He bet 70, which compared to the size of the pot is not very big. I just don't have enough to call here. Nothing much I can do, I fold. Final hand of the night, and it's definitely the best one, so congrats if you made it this far, you're going to get rewarded. We have 665 now in our stack, and we look down at pocket 10s from the small blind. Under the gun +1 raises it up to 20, there's 2 callers, and I'm left with a decision here. I have pocket 10s, I'm in the small blind, I decide to pop it back up to 105. The initial raiser folds, and we only get called by a middle position player. Going heads up to the flop with 255 now in the pot, which comes ace, king, 9, rainbow. Ideally, this is not the best flop for us, but given that he just called a $20 initial raise, he shouldn't have too many hands in his range that could call multiple streets here. So I decide to continue my story of an ace or a king in my hand, and I bet 125. He snap calls, which is definitely very interesting. I don't really know if it's concerning because I'm putting him on a pair with a weak kicker or a drawing type hand. So the range I'm putting him on could either miss on the turn of the river or probably won't be able to make it to the river or call 2 additional streets. So I'm feeling pretty decent. The turn with 505 now in our stack comes a queen of diamonds, which is probably one of the worst cards we wanted to see. Brings some draws in, increases the chances of 2 pair, and puts another overcard out there in case for some reason we were ahead on the flop. I check. He quickly checks behind, which is good news for us, and we're off to the river. The same 505 in the pot. The river is the best card now in the deck for us. The jack of spades. There's 420 in our stack, and there's around 505 in the pot, so I want to go for max value here and shove my entire stack in. In my opinion, this shove doesn't make too much sense because I'm repping a straight, but when you think about it, how do I get to the river with a 10 in my hand? I would never play ace 10 or king 10 like this, and in the long run, how often am I really c-betting pocket 10s on the flop? He tanks, looks confused, but ultimately puts in the call, which is definitely what we wanted to see after he tanks. We show and are obviously good and scoop this $1,345 pot. Great feeling when we get there on the river. I didn't think there was much of a chance that we were going to win this hand. We rack up our chips and head to the cage and cash out. Alright guys, that wraps up our session at the Bicycle Casino. We got into the game for $700, cashed out for $13.34, so a profit of $634 in around 3 hours of play. Just a little bit over $200 an hour. We had a ton of great hands. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to smash the like button, comment down below to help the algorithm out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video next Thursday. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for tuning in every week. I really appreciate it. I'm thankful for you guys, so I'll catch you guys next week. Peace. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.